Well, it's raining again. It hasn't stopped raining actually, so I can't say again. The weather's just been absolutely terrible. Torrential downpouring and a headwind the whole time. We have not made very much progress today. We had a short window of no rain and we were able to have some food, and by the time we finished eating it was already raining again. Now we're just setting up our tents, trying to dry off as best we can, and yeah, it's not going so well.
The morning brought with it a welcome surprise. No rain. So, eager to take advantage of this brief break in the wind, we lit the stove and got breakfast started. Potato cakes and bacon made for a proper start to the day, all washed down with very strong coffee.
Not a bad view for breakfast.
We'd need every drop of it because the day ahead would once again be spent battling a cold headwind across this famous Loch Shiel.
It's day 3 and it is absolutely pouring down still, and that headwind is really making life hard. It's becoming quite apparent that I don't think we're going to complete the entire circuit, but we're still marching forward, just in the hope of at least reaching St. Finnan's Chapel on the island of St. Finnan, and then hopefully, I don't know, be a little bit more optimistic tomorrow. I did check the weather forecast, and it's due to be even worse tomorrow, so I don't know how well that's going to go. It's it's quite the adventure. How you feeling, Sam? Bit wet.
Pickety, pickety, bum, de bum! Up in the hill she likes to roll, rambling all the way to Canoe, tickling all the flowers as she goes, wondering where the days always go. And then she'll come a skipping through the door, dragging the mucky boots along the floor, sink a jar of heavy 3 or 4, tell you where she's going to go the more you know. He's never gone. You're mad in your bone. Sunshine to the cold.
As the morning went on, the weather did not improve, and that headwind started to push even harder down the loch. And every paddle stroke seemed to buy us only a few feet of progress. Still, we kept moving, not quickly, and certainly not gracefully, but enough to feel that we were earning our way forward.
She's up today, I'm unrolling the moor. Before the break of dawn, I'm on our way to a hickety-pickety song, telling you there's a fire in the fog, hacking away in the bracken in the gorse, pickle a bit of garlic on the go, taking a dip in the burning sea.
Somewhere in the middle of all that doom and gloom and rising headwind, I even managed to get my fishing rod out for a while. A small act of optimism perhaps, but sometimes that's all you need out here to keep going. A cast, a pause, and the hope that the loch might offer something back. After a few hours, the rain eased up just long enough to give us a small window of opportunity to pull in and put some warm, dry clothes on. The temperature had really dropped now, and we found ourselves needing some hot food and drink. And thanks to the brown trout that I'd caught earlier, we ended up with something a lot better than one of them instant packet meals. A simple fish soup, eaten beside the loch in the blasting wind while the weather gathered itself for whatever it had planned for us next.
Well, we just had to make a stop for a cup of tea because it is really cold. The wind and rain have been relentless as always. Just that horrible headwind and constant showers. So while we've had a little break in the rain, we decided to stop, have a cup of tea and put some dry clothes on. It doesn't look like we're going to be finishing the Loch Shiel circuit, unfortunately, but I'm hoping to at least reach the island of St. Finnan and check out the ruins, and maybe we reach the village at the end of the loch. I think it's called Acharackle or something. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that completely wrong, but yeah, hopefully we'll maybe reach that. That would be nice to think, but we'll see. But yeah, it's starting to sink in that I won't be completing the Loch Shiel circuit again. This weather is just too bad and too cold, too strong of a headwind, and just constantly soaking wet. It's disappointing, but I'm still having a great time. I enjoyed a bit of fishing as well along the way and managed to catch a little brownling, which was just to say big enough to keep, and so unfortunately it was the only one that I caught, and so I'm just knocking up a bit of fish soup in this beautiful wind. I think you've done this before, Sam. What do you do for a living?
I'm a mechanic.
Cheers!
It's our fish soup.
Looks good, man.
It does, of course.
It's delicious, that.
Yeah, it's warm.
Warm and fishy. Well, we just had another stop and turned the fish that I caught earlier into a nice fish soup, which warmed us up a little, gave us a little energy boost, and we've just set off again into this horrible headwind. It is shockingly cold for this time of the year. The rain keeps pelting down, and we are just not making the progress needed to finish the Loch Shiel circuit in the time frame that I have here in Scotland. So I'm already coming to terms with the fact that the Loch Shiel circuit is once again beaten me, and I'm not going to complete it. But it's still been an epic adventure. I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm still giving all the energy I have to get as far down the loch as I can before the inevitable having to turn around, which I'm sure we're going to have to do probably today. Hopefully we can reach the Chapel of St. Finnen on the island. And the idea I have in mind is that I'm going to get us to go around the island and slingshot us back up the loch, back towards Glenfinnan. Slightly disappointing, but honestly, I've still had an epic journey, and it gives me an excuse to come back again.
Loch Shiel is not a straight bit of water by any means. It twists its way through the mountains, and every time we rounded a corner, the wind seemed to be waiting there with a fresh idea of how to ruin our afternoon. But somehow, along that slow, stubborn paddle, we passed a little beach that meant something to us. We'd camped there back in 2024 when the weather was kinder and our beer supply was heavier. For that reason, we'd had ourselves a little rave along the shore. Naturally, with all the dignity and seriousness such a moment deserves, we named it Raven's Beach, partly because of the rave, and partly because we were drunk and we thought it sounded quite piratey, and mostly because once you name a place, something ridiculous like that, it becomes official forever.
I think it might be, you know. I think this is Raven's Beach.
Looking more and more like it.
Yeah, because we had those overhanging trees,
Yeah.
and we camped underneath them. We had the light hanging from the trees.
That's Raven's Beach.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
Yeah, it is, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the tree.
That's the tree. That's
Yeah, dude, that's the one, man.
Oh, it's good to see it. Good to see
Raven's Beach. That's where we had our epic little dance. Yeah,
it. Let the
dude.
bass go. 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 Let the bass go. Go. Go.
Once we get around this beach here, it's gonna hit us again, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah. At least it stopped raining. Alright, all of those waves and that headwind are blowing straight in from the direction I need to be going, which is up here. And at the end of there somewhere is Glenfinnan's Chapel on the island, which we managed to reach last time in 2024. But that headwind now is just so strong that you just can't paddle into that with a canoe. It wouldn't even be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it would just be 3 steps back. We just stopped on this little bit of land here, and you can see how even just this little bit of land slows down the waves and wind even a little bit. That's the direction that we came from, and even that was hard going, but we were still at least moving forward. So it does mean that, unfortunately, we're not even going to make it to St. Finnan's Chapel this time. It's a complete wipeout. We cannot get any further than this. That's the end. We're going to make a U-turn now, pop the sail up, and sail back. Maybe set up camp in the same place we were last night. Oh man.
The loch had given us nothing but strong headwind, rain and very little mercy. But for a few minutes on Raven's Beach, it also gave us a memory worth laughing at all over again.
Trevor Boogie? Huh? Yeah, come in. Bollocks.
I am so glad you pressed record.
The headwind had finally beaten us. Loch Shiel had made its feelings perfectly clear, and all we could do now was turn the canoe around, put the sail up, and let the weather send us back the way we'd came. After hours of fighting for every centimetre we'd travelled, it felt strange to suddenly be moving so easily. But of course Loch Shiel hadn't finished with us just yet.
Pure, all I have to remember is the pride that I felt round the park where the boys never.
I'm just looking at the distance we've covered.
All right. Cool, isn't it? Just flying along.
And the Lord up above, kill la 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 la. For the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore. 95 came promotion.
That same wind that was now easing our travel back began to build waves that were so big they slapped over the side of the canoe, and before long we were carrying half the loch with us. So we were forced onto a small pebble beach to bail the water out and get ourselves sorted. It was one of those moments where you try to look calm and capable while quietly wondering whether the canoe was meant to be a boat or a bath.
For the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore.
The next problem came when we tried to leave that beach. The wind had pinned us so hard against the shore that pushing back out became almost impossible. And so, with the dignity of two men who've just lost a fight against Mother Nature, we accepted that this was home for the night. Thankfully, as the evening came on, the wind finally began to ease. The tents went up, the fire was lit, and the whole mood of the place changed.
My pearly, by the river
After a day of being battered about by the wind and rain, there was something deeply comforting about sitting by an open fire with some proper food cooking away. The journey had not gone to plan, not even close. But having freshly cooked hot food beside a Highland loch almost makes it all forgivable. Later I paddled the canoe out and around a rocky cove to bring it closer to camp for the next morning. It was a small job, but after the day we'd just had, Anything that made the next start a little easier felt worth doing. The loch was still now, and for a few moments it felt good simply to be moving the canoe on my own terms again, rather than being pushed around by the weather.
Easy. Paddle all the way to Glenfinnan right now.
I'll be still.
By morning the rain had returned. Of course it had. We packed up, wet, climbed back into the canoe, tired, worn out, and with very little left in the tank. There was no grand final push now, no heroic finish, just two battered guys quietly making their way back to Glenfinnan, the very place they'd started from. And that was the end of the Loch Shiel circuit. Except, of course, it wasn't a circuit at all. It was a failed attempt, a long fight with the weather, and a reminder that out here, nature does not care what you wrote down in your plans.
In the ground I'll stay. Where you are.
But looking back at all of it, the wind, the rain, the waves, the cold morning, the rather good dancing, the food, the fire, and the moments when we had absolutely no idea what we were doing, I cannot quite bring myself to call this a failure. Because sometimes the trip you lose is still the story you get to keep.
Well, once again, I find myself returning to Glenfinnan after attempting the Loch Shiel circuit after only 3 nights. Unfortunately, the weather was not in my favour. We got bashed with rain non-stop, and eventually that headwind just stopped us from even being able to move forward, which was really kind of the final nail in the coffin. And yesterday we were able to enjoy some sailing, which was fun up until the waves started coming into the canoe and swamping the canoe. So we had to set up camp for the night, and that brings us to the end, unfortunately. Time was not on my side as I'm on quite a tight schedule to complete this one. Please make sure to go check out Scotsburg, the people who I got the pans from. They are absolutely fantastic, especially for this sort of camping, and really kind of make you want to have a little bit of luxurious cooking when you're out camping, which is good. And it's always better than a packet of instant noodles, isn't it? Boil in the bag sort of stuff. Check out the other links in the descriptions as well for all the other equipment I've used. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I guess I'll have to come back in another 2 years to try again, eh? What do you reckon, Sam? Yes. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
There's nothing living behind the old door. There's nothing living behind the old door. So hi ho, here I go. So hi ho, be home again.
Ugh.